It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Hello, and welcome to the Max Sports. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for To the Max Sports. I got Taylor, the Spurs guru, in the house. We cannot wipe the smiles off our faces. I've had a permanent smile now for the last 2 weeks, and I don't smile very often.
Same. I think a lot of people do in San Antonio.
So why are we smiling?
Wemba, baby.
Wemba, baby.
First number one pick we got, man. It's going to change everything.
Kumbaya Wemba in the house.
So Spurs, more like 87 with Robinson or 97 with Duncan?
I think more like, well, as far as...
Yeah, I mean, where the Spurs organization is and what Victor will do to us.
Probably more like David because Tim, we already had the pieces.
Yep.
But we'll talk about that because there are some core untradeable pieces, I believe, with the Spurs right now. But just the excitement of that night, and I don't know about you, but I was just gnawing my knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody.
Sweating.
When Detroit went 5, I'm like, we just got rid of a lot of ping pongs.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Houston went 3, we just got rid of a really whole lot of ping pongs. Surely Charlotte's not going to get this. It's in the stars. And, man, was it cool or what?
I mean, I haven't seen that many people excited about turning over cards since the last Gambling Addicts convention in Vegas.
Well, what did you say about the value of the Spurs? How much did they go up?
$500 million to $1 billion is what they're saying this will mean to the Spurs' net worth. I mean, the value of the franchise.
Yep.
So, Taylor, we brought you in because you're all things Spurs. In your estimation, is it hyperbole to say he's generational?
No, if there was a stronger word for him other than being generational, I think we'd label it and give him that.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say to kind of slow that roll a little bit is just he has the potential to be generational. Because there are a lot of folks out there, not Spurs fans, because Spurs fans are now in a level of giddiness not seen since David Robinson. But we just need to be a little measured about this. There are a lot of people looking at it going, why are we kind of like fawning all over this guy? You're already electing him to the Hall of Fame. So just to be fair, he has the potential to be generational. At this point where he is in his life, in his draft, in his NBA career, I think he is as impactful, at least as LeBron was at this point in LeBron's career.
I hear that. The only thing that I have to say is that we've never seen somebody with this frame, potential, and capabilities before.
Okay.
But not only that, we have Europe and training and being brought up in European leagues and in European mindset is a completely different ballgame than the duds that we've seen get hyped up in college, come into the NBA and are complete flops, right? Mm-hmm. The mechanisms that they have, the efficiency that they build. I mean, this kid is coming from Europe. I mean, we've seen Luka Doncic. We've seen a lot of European players come in and dominate this league for a reason.
And the tutelage that he's had, growing up in that system.
Exactly.
And under the tutelage of Parker now.
Mm-hmm. And
when I watch his highlights, and of course, you can watch anyone's highlights and say, wow, they're really good. But this guy his highlights just make him look like when you can take 2 steps from the foul line and dunk a ball, it's free.
Yeah, and be able to shoot from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, and some of the moves he has that Fadewan Olajuwon move already down.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. It's crazy. Now, will he get bullied around a little bit? Probably. He's got to feel his oats out. He's a little light.
Sure.
But you know what? That's the easy part. You can't teach basketball fundamentals when they're God-given. You can get the kid on a weight program at 20. Can you imagine 25 pounds of muscle added to this kid's
He needs it. I mean, it's not imagine it. He needs it.
But he's 19. He hasn't even grown into his body yet.
I get that.
He may even still be growing.
I get that. I mean, Kevin Durant is still thin enough that I think a brisk wind sometimes can bowl him over. Do you see talking about videos and the highlights, you see the highlight where he got backed down by a Euro bully in the paint?
Well, I mean, look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, him coming into the league his rookie season, this dude was a twig. He was super tiny.
Exactly.
He put on 30, 40 pounds of muscle, and you are not stopping that man. He is one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But I mean, he's 19 years. He has not grown into that body yet, man. It is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think about when I was from 19 to 24, I put on 40 pounds. I worked out in the gym. I put on 40 pounds of hard muscle that I didn't have when I was 19 years old. And now you got this guy with the nutritional program they're going to put him on, the shooting, the tutelage of the coaching, the Spurs system.
Yep.
Yeah, and when I, between 29 and 50, I put on a good 50 pounds too.
But you put it on around the middle.
Yeah.
We're not going to say where I put it on. That's the reason why I'm off camera.
Between the ears. So
anyway, potentially, he has the potential to be exactly what the Spurs need. I'm more impressed by where he is as a person.
Yeah.
He is incredibly well-spoken for himself. He has a really good head on his shoulder. He knows what this moment is.
Yeah.
He knows what this moment is for the town of San Antonio.
Not only that, it's a moment he wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did you see how excited he was when he knew he was going to the Spurs?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When he saw Houston, he
he looked to the left, looked to the right, put his hand in his face, and he was ecstatic.
Yeah. So any conspiracy theories out there from the conspiracy theory land that this was preordained?
Well, the Spurs may have tanked, but it still had to be a perfect storm.
Oh yeah,
perfect fucking storm, and they got it.
And we did it gracefully, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tanked with honesty.
Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, are we going to be a playoff team next year?" And I say yes, and here's why.
Of course.
Hear me out. We won 22 games.
Yep.
Conceivably, we had injuries, but we also tanked with the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't tank and have injuries, would you say we have 10 more wins? 32 wins for the season? When Baia adds his 12 to 13, there's your 45 wins.
Yeah.
That gets you in the playoffs.
And hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I just want to be clear. We did not tank. We did not sit players that should have been playing. We did not sit a star that should have been playing. We played inexperienced young kids who needed growth, who weren't going to win in the NBA. Honest tanking.
We got her honest tanking and goofy ass rotations.
Yeah. We played pickup basketball.
And I'm sorry, if it's not Popovich or possibly who I think is the best coach in the NBA right now, maybe like a Spoelstra, if you don't have a world-class coach at that organization, we don't win 15 games with that roster.
That's fair.
So we are a playoff team next year. We are at least a play-in team.
Yeah.
At least a play-in team.
But you also get in this offseason, I mean, we have been stacking up assets. We've been stacking up cash. We gracefully tanked for a reason. We are going to be drawn there's players in this league that are I firmly believe that we're a point guard league right now, right? Like who guards Steph, Damian Lillard. I mean, I believe we are a point guard league. We've got we've got some amazing 3, 4, 5, positions, but we're point guard league. And I think that we're going to be bringing, we're going to draw so much attention and some veteran players that Spurs love to invest in. I think Chris Paul is a name that I could see. I think we are going to be, we've got the money to do it. We've got the team to do it. We've got the coach to do it. We're going to have, I am so freaking excited.
Yeah.
Pull up our assets.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of what we're looking at for.
So for those of you that aren't watching that can't see the big screen, if you're listening on radio, this is the Spurs assets for the next 6-7 years. All their draft picks, 24 through 30. The Hawks, first-round draft pick, 25, 27, unprotected. Hawks, first-round swap, 2026. Hornets protected, first-round, 2024. Raptors protected, 2024. Bulls protected, 2025. Celtics protected, 2028, and $41 million in cap space. That's scary with the generational player that we got and all these assets.
Yeah.
What do you think the team needs?
So,
Taylor.
Taylor. Taylor.
No, okay. We were talking about DeJounte Murray earlier, going to the Hawks. We need a point guard. We need a point guard. We need a general. We need somebody that can run an offense.
You think
the Spurs are an offense-oriented team, and obviously, like, defense wins championships, offense wins games. But we need a point guard. You need a floor general. You need somebody that can control tempo. Wemba in himself is going to draw a massive amount of attention. He's going to be doubled the entire game anywhere that he goes. But having somebody that can facilitate the rest of our roster while he is playing the role that he's going to be playing, we need a point guard, man. We need a point guard.
For me, equally important, I want two big guys. I want two big guys down in the post so Victor doesn't have to be there.
We got Collins.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
So right now in the mocks that are out there, our next two picks are 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah.
Big guys. Victor needs a bodyguard. Victor needs someone to go out there and throw his body around to protect Victor.
Yeah.
From not being hurt, being bullied.
Somebody like a Boban. Like, I could see Boban coming right back to San Antonio and playing that kind of role. You're right.
The big Bill Laimbeer type guy.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. I agree with you. The point guard's probably the biggest need. You can probably get away with Trey, who's the guard right now? Trey Jones?
Oh, Trey Jones, yeah.
I mean, he's serviceable for a year. He'd be a great backup if they signed him. But what about something crazy? Let me propose this to you. Who's Charlotte got as their point guard right now? They got
Kemba Walker.
What about trying to move up and get Scoot with some of this draft capital? Can you imagine Wemba and Scoot?
That would be nuts.
We've got the draft capital to put out a crazy freaking offer.
I would rather spend that draft capital on a proven player.
Okay, how about Ben Simmons?
That's another one that they talk about. But
Can we spend some of that draft capital on mental health therapists for Ben?
I mean, he would be cheap.
Can we trust him?
I think we allow Pop to do what he can do, and I mean, regardless, he's going to be cheap, so it's not going to be like a lock-in, and we're going to drop an insane amount of money. He needs to be pawned off. Every team wants to pawn him off. He would be.
Yeah, I think
it would be worth a try.
The risk.
Yeah.
The thing about him, if you can get 80% of what Ben Simmons used to be, you're good.
He's so young. Yeah. He's so young still. Like he's not super injury prone. It's whatever's going on in his head that's like limiting him from being the ball player he was in his first two seasons. I don't know. It blows my mind where he's at today, but man, put him in a system where you've got like a city backing you, a team backing you, a system, an organization backing you that will get you the help that you need. But also, like, it would give him an opportunity to get back up on his feet and, like, make a name for himself again and get his confidence back. And to your point with
Simmons, getting him out of those high-profile cities, putting him in a smaller culture where he doesn't have to press in his face every day and have to deal with a lot of the things he had to deal with. He did cross my mind. Doing something crazy for Scoot crossed my mind. Yeah. Who are the assets the Spurs are off the table right now that they currently have?
I would say one and only one would be Keldon Johnson. Vassell, I am somewhat of a fan of. I think he could be a good six-man coming off the bench.
Not Sohan. You got to keep him, don't you?
I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I think he's too small. I think he's too, I get, defense and...
But kind of the grinder six-man eventually in the...
Yeah, possibly.
I see him as a Ginobili grinder kind of...
Possibly.
Not with the scoring offense, but more the kind of that...
Maybe like Bruce Bowen more kind of guy, possibly. I would just invest in Keldon Johnson all day long.
A lot of people are saying Keldon would be the good trade bait because he's a little inconsistent.
Yeah, it's because he has been why he's been inconsistent? It's because he has been carrying the weight of San Antonio and this team on his shoulders by himself every single night for the past 2 years.
Would you do Keldon Johnson, McDermott, and both the Atlanta picks for Scoot Henderson?
No. I would rather personally. I know like point guards. I know like number one is finding a good point guard. I don't think getting rid of somebody like Keldon is, Devin Vassell, Dermott, maybe Trey Jones, like I can see something like that. But Keldon, Keldon's going to be up there with like
So he's
Giannis.
He's the only guy you say is off the table for you.
Which
you build around those two.
Which is crazy. This is a little bit of trivia. Who is the highest salary on our current roster? You guys know?
Didn't we just pick him up last season in a trade? What is his name? He didn't play a whole lot.
Oh, from New Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the point guard.
Nope.
Who is it?
Dougie.
Doug McDermott?
Dougie McDermott is a $13.75 million. That is our highest salary player.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Next highest, Devontae Graham at 11.5.
That's the Pelican.
That's
and then it goes way down. Keldon Johnson right now is only a 3.9. Back to your point, we got a lot of money.
Got a lot of money.
A lot of money to play, and we got some of that Michael Dell money now, so we can spend it.
McDermott's over. He's overpaid.
Well, I'm on board with the Simmons deal, and all people talked about that. It's just a matter of as long as the chemistry works, because if it's bad chemistry and.
But man, seeing Scoot and Wemba, oh my gosh, man. It would take a lot for us. It would be a Keldon.
And I formulated that trade in my mind a couple of nights ago. I haven't ever heard anyone else talk about it. But we got the capital to go 1 and 2.
Yeah. We definitely do.
What about Chris Paul?
But is that the guy you want? Can he run your offense the entire year? Probably. Is he a good veteran leadership? Can he mentor these guys? But I don't think he's going to. The guy's 39, 40 years old now. We don't need to go back to the future. We need to.
It's kind of we did something like that back in 2012 when we brought in Andre Miller at the end of his career. Do I think Chris Paul is an amazing point guard? 100%. And like the Spurs love to invest in guys at the end of their career. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if that was a move just to see. But he's been balling in Phoenix. He's been hooping, but he's at the end. And
Pascal Siakam.
Ooh, yeah.
He's solid.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan?
I'm just not a fan of him, man.
I
get he's a great one-on-one player.
He's good until the last 30 seconds of a game when you need him.
I'm actually reading a little bit of somebody else's list, and that's where I'm coming from this list. And their number one, this is really, really interesting. John Morant.
Yeah, but you're going to have to give up so much for him.
We have
too much.
And really, this kid suspended 8 games, no longer the darling poster child of the NBA front office, facing another suspension.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe the Grizzlies want to shop him somewhere else?
He's looking at a lifetime ban if he keeps screwing around.
For his mental health, do you think the Spurs are a good organization? Spurs, San Antonio's, notwithstanding the shootings that happen on a regular basis in this city.
Honestly, with me, another generational type, but I think Ben Simmons I'd feel almost more comfortable with Ben.
I would
than
too.
Ja, believe it or not.
I would too.
Because Ja wants to be the focal point of the offense.
Yeah.
And I like Wembenyama being the focal point.
And Ben also what we were talking about earlier is getting a big body that can take the roughness and the paint. That's what Ben is built for. He's 6'8", 6'9". He's a big dude, man. He's a big dude, and as a point guard, he'll be in there taking the hits for Wemba. He likes to play physical in general. So
word on the league is the Spurs are on the phone, and that's something you don't see very often. Spurs on the phone making calls.
This is the reason why we've been putting all this draft capital and all this other stuff on the shelf for this day. The front office of the Spurs organization is burning the phones. I don't think on the phones is the right term. I think it's a disservice to what they're doing. They're going to be burning it up.
I saw a stat where season ticket sales are up 2,200%.
Yeah.
It's insane. It is crazy. Absolutely insane.
We can just imagine the bars, the restaurants. The guy's added so much value each night he plays in the city. It's going to be insane.
Yep. We're going to have way more nationally televised games. We're going to be playing, during holidays and Christmas and Thanksgivings. And it's game changing. It is completely and totally game changing.
But I just can't get Scoot and Wembenyama playing together out of my mind. What would make it work?
And getting rid of Keldon.
And if we kept KJ in the mix.
See, that is.
And then we're able to.
I mean, we're
got
going
a lot
to be
of first-round draft picks to shop.
Yeah.
Then you have
championship.
Back to my comment about potential. And then I have two players with potential. Yeah. Now, Scoot's a lot more polished than, say, a Brandon Miller. But he's still young, still has potential to reach. Will he reach his potential, or will he be a dud? I don't like I would like a veteran just because I know what I'm going to get. Sure. Even if I have no ceiling with that vet, I know what I'm going to get when they step in the building.
Is Ben Simmons a vet in your eyes?
Well, yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So anyway, actually not for John Morant as a trade target, but John Morant still loves guns.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, we had Gervin the other couple weeks ago, and his point, he just said he wished the NBA Players Association did more with guys his age to kind of tutor and mentor a lot of these young guys, and obviously the 8-game suspension wasn't enough. The contrite. I'm going to learn from this, wasn't contrite enough. And, now the guy's flipping up gang signs, and I'm watching like YouTube stuff where they got Crips coming out saying, yo, bro, you want to do the double nines?
Well,
that's not good.
Interesting enough, the police did a wellness check on Ja a couple days ago because they were worried. Now, going to the Crips to actually bring up a rest in peace story, Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Heard a story about Jim Brown during the LA riots. He had the Bloods and the Crips over to his house.
Wow.
Talking about Crips. He told them as they were coming in the front door, no guns in my house. You leave them right there. And they're like, yes, sir. These are inarguably some of the baddest ass individuals in Southern California. Yeah. And they're looking at Jim Brown going, yes, sir.
Well, if Jim Brown would have told me to do something, I would have said yes, sir, too.
Yeah, no shit,
yeah. What an amazing career. Maybe one of the greatest, not only in football, he was one of the greatest in lacrosse.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he played lacrosse at Syracuse.
Oh, wow.
Where else can you get it, folks? Victor Wembanyama, Jim Brown on the same podcast.
And Tina Turner.
Oh, yeah.
Simply the best.
Yeah.
I want you guys to go out there and pull up Johnny Carson with Ike and Tina Turner. I watched it the other night. Sorry, Mom. Fucking phenomenal. The woman was amazing. And I watched her performance on Carson back with Brother Ike, and it was a freaking awesome.
No, she was
awesome performance.
She was a diva in every good sense of the word.
Yeah.
And deservedly so. So big loss. Jim Brown, a big loss. I was surprised that did you see any hoopla around Jim Brown passing? I mean, in outside of sports?
That's kind of weird how that just kind of came and went,
Yeah, Jerry Springer got more of a hoopla.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Springer was probably more obnoxious.
Yeah, a little bit. But
the squeaky wheel gets all the grease.
Yeah, it's,
But yeah,
we're losing some of the luminaries, not only in sports.
Yeah, pop culture.
But pop culture, the whole movement of civil rights and stuff. I mean, with with Russell and all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a major generational transition. Talking about generational, coming back to Victor.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what we do. We bring it back around. Let's
bring it back to Taylor, our sports guru. Any final thoughts on, I know you can't put that crystal ball out there, but do you think they make a trade before the draft to move up? They're even talking about getting one of the big kids, one of the twins.
I don't see us trying to move up into the draft, but I do see us in the offseason doing something that I don't think any of us are expecting for us to do. I think that we're going to make some wild investments. I think we're going to, we have that stacked up list of assets here, and there's a reason why. It's leverage, and we're going to use it over the next 2 seasons. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how good we're going to be. I know that we're going to be very, very good. I think that, we're going to be in the finals in the next two years.
Yeah.
No problem.
Do you think that's an expectation we should have?
I think so.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's the expectation that San Antonio has. That's like we've been doing this since '97, right? I mean, we've the 2010s, 03, 99, 03, 05, 07. I mean, it was this town and this city was on fire. It was in the best way possible. I mean, we had an amazing team, an amazing organization, an amazing like charisma going throughout San Antonio, and that is going to be creeping back.
Yeah,
and,
but I mean, is it a little bit like an athlete, like a runner who's trained for a marathon, done all the training, done a lot of marathons, done really, really well, and then lays off for 2 or 3 years and comes back and they're not able to run at the same pace and they just get so disillusioned? Are we almost possibly there? Because we have had so much success. Are we going to want success too fast for what I think this process is going to end up being?
Well, there's going to be high expectations, but think about this. I mean, most teams to rebuild, it's a long process. We rebooted basically in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've gone through a total reboot, and I'll tell you what, that general office, the Spurs general office, I mean, these guys, what a vision, and to create what they've done and to put these pieces in place, the potential in such a short turnaround time frame. You just don't see many sports organizations that can reboot like this.
Yeah, no, I'm
such a short period of time.
I'm excited. Do we want to talk anything about anything else?
I think I'm good, man. I mean, end it with the Spurs.
Okay.
Tagline of Victor Wembanyama. So when people put that in YouTube, like I've been doing all week, maybe our video will pop up. Right?
So I mean, to stay in NBA space, looks like, I mean, I would have said the Heat a lot more emphatically a couple of days ago. I still think it's the Heat winning at home. So let's say Nuggets Heat in the finals. Where are you going?
Nuggets all day long.
Nuggets all day long, yeah.
I think they'll win in 5.
Okay. Yeah. And you see, I mean, to bring it back to horse racing, not bring it back, but to bring it to horse racing, Baffert wins the Preakness.
Yep.
And has a horse die on him on the Preakness. I'm a little bit more measured in my response to horses dying in these weekends, but it is something the horse race is going to need to look into. Bad optics.
Yeah, they'll definitely look into it. I mean, you know, they've made so many strides in horse racing, protecting these horses. Remember, these horsemen are a huge investment. They cost a lot of money. There ain't cheap horses out there. So, you know, they're going to look at the track conditions. They're going to look at a lot of various factors, and hopefully they'll get it fixed. But unfortunately, horses, I hate to use the term in a human level, are athletes. And what do athletes do? They get hurt. Mm-hmm. They can potentially die playing the sport that they love. So there's no difference. Oh,
yeah. I mean, talking about athletes, one of my luminaries that I listen to all the time, Kornheiser, for the top athletes of the last century, put Secretariat in the top 10.
That's stupid. I don't put animals in a list of athletes with humans.
But Secretariat?
I'm not going to put an animal with a human.
I mean, talk about a generational. He was so far ahead in the Belmont. You didn't have the other horse in screen.
Now we're really dating ourselves and going off yonder. But having said that, I'm not going to sit here and say, best athlete, Michael Jordan, Secretariat, Jim Brown, you know.
Okay, fair enough. Though
it just sounds like Kornheiser.
Though I will say this, that was a crappy entry list for the Preakness. Do you know, other than Mage, guess how many horses from the Derby were in the Preakness?
I don't think any of them were.
None of them.
Yeah,
None of them.
I didn't play the race, but if Angel of Empire runs in the Belmont, which I think he will, I like him again.
We'll see.
He ran third in the Derby.
And let's see, this weekend coming up, Indy 500 on Sunday.
I'm going to
greatest spectacle in motorsports.
I'm going to go with Secretariat.
In the Indy 500? Don't think he can fit in the car. Those guys are really, really tiny.
You know, I like watching polo, but those horses have so much trouble in the water sometimes.
Oh, my God. Okay, on that note, we ready to be out?
We're out. We'll see you next week. Thanks for
coming, bro. Appreciate it.
Come back for bad jokes.
Take care.
We're out.
Bye.